Can you get rich just by investing $500? No. I think we both know the answer to that is no. If you're 30 years old, you invest $500 right now, compound it out for 30 years, it will be $9,000. Nobody is rich with just $9,000. You're not retired. You're not doing diddly squat with 9 grand. But I don't think that's what either of us are really asking. We're wondering, what if you invest $500 a month, $6,000 a year, $180,000 over the course of 30 years, will that make you rich? And the answer is, it'll give you $1 million by the time you're 60. Is that rich? Depends on your lifestyle. It's definitely a good amount of money, but that's really tough. $6,000 a year for 30 years. I mean, $180,000, that can buy you this house right here in Des Moines, Iowa. Or even if it's not a lump sum, just $6,000 a year, that's a vacation for sure a year, maybe even 2. Take a Carnival cruise, you could probably squeeze out 2 vacations a year on Carnival cruise, going down to Cozumel, the Caribbean, hanging out on $6 grand a year. So there is some sacrifice of giving up 2 cruises a year for 30 years if you want to get $1 million by the time you're 60. And then also you have to have the faith that the stock market will go up. I mean, you could sacrifice $6,000 a year, and what if the market actually crashes and doesn't outperform like you're hoping it will? Then you're going to get to 60 and not have $1 million. But the way I like to look at it is if you don't invest, you're guaranteed to have $0 by the time you're 60. And if you do invest, then you might have that $1 million by the time you're 60, because the market could go up or down. It's just kind of a flip of the coin, right? So that's the way I like to look at it. But look, if you get to 60 and you don't think $1 million is enough, then I want to show you, if you just incrementally add a little bit more money, how much more that compounds out to over time and how much richer you would be. But before I show you those increments, please just hit that like button down below for me. That would be a huge help on this channel. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so look, you invest $500 a month, $6,000 a year, $180,000 over the course of 30 years, that gives you $1 million. But if you just stair step that up to $1,500 a month, that will give you $2 million by the time you're 60. So that'd be $12,000 a year. That's a lot of money, I know, but you're doubling your net worth by the time you're 60 years old. But here's where things start to really get interesting. If you are 30 and you invest $1,500 a month, you'll have $3 million by the time you're 60. You have to contribute a total of $540,000, but by the time you're 55, you'll actually have $1.8 million. So do you even need to continue investing from that age of 55 to 60, those last 5 years? Probably not. We're talking about early retirement now. You could definitely retire with $1.8 million at the age of 55. Go on, if you're 30, you start investing $2,000 a month. That will give you $4 million by the time you're 60. You contribute $720,000. But look at this, by the time you're 50, you'll already have $1.4 million. You don't even need to invest anymore after that. Your $1.4 million can just compound by itself for those last 10 years, and you're still going to be really well off. So you don't need to even contribute that $720,000 anymore. You only need to invest from the age of 30 to 50, $2,000 a month, and you will have $1.4 million. And I think that this is the part that gets overlooked by a lot of people, that whenever you invest a little bit amount of money, $500 a month, for 30 years, it gives you back $1 million, but that's 30 years of investing. But if you're willing to invest more now, at an earlier age, if you're willing to invest $1,500, $2,000 at the age of 30, you only need to invest for maybe 20 years instead of 30 years, because by the time you're 50, you're already going to be in the over $1 million mark. Versus if you invest $500 at 30, it's going to take you 30 years of investing just to get to that first million. So that's one of the things that are really overlooked on just getting invested and investing more earlier. Now, what if you're 25? If you're over 25, you can't turn back time. Sorry, Cher. But if you're around 25 now, you're going to be turning 25. Look at this. If you invest $500 a month, so for 35 years, $6,000 a year, you contribute $210,000, but you'll be at $1.6 million by the time you're 60. And that's definitely a lot more than the $1 million than if you start by the age of 30. But here's where it gets really crazy. If you're 25 years old and you start investing $1,000 a month, you'll be at $3.2 million by the time you're 60. But by the age of 55, you'll be at $2 million. again, just like the 30-year-old, if you're at $2 million at the age of 55, you don't even need to invest those last 5 years. From 55 to 60, that $2 million at 55 is getting you 10% a year. That's $200,000 a year in passive income. You'll make $1 million from 55 to 60 doing absolutely nothing, just letting that money compound by itself. Now, again, we're also talking about early retirement here. You could definitely be retiring at the age of 55 with $2 million. That means that your investing career only went from the age of 25 to 55. Again, if we put in $1,500 a month starting at the age of 25 years old, you could be 60 years old with $5 million. You have to contribute a total of $630,000, but at the age of 50, you could have $2 million. That means you only needed to invest for 25 years and you would have $2 million by the time you're 50. Again, you don't even need to invest those last 10 years from 50 to 60. If you have $2 million compounding out 10%, $200,000, just that alone will give you an additional $2 million from the time you're 50 to 60. You would be 60 years old with $4 million and you didn't even have to invest from the age of 50 to 60. Lastly, if you are 25 investing $2,000 a month, then that would give you $6.5 million by the time you're 60. But at the age of 45, you would have $1.4 million. That's a lot of money, and still we're talking about potential early retirement. It would totally depend on your lifestyle, if you have kids, what your goals are and stuff. But if you had a really modest retirement, you could totally be retired at 45 years old with $1.4 million. And now if you want to keep investing and keep working until you're 60, contribute $840,000 in total and get to $6.5 million by the time you're 60, then that's also okay. But I just want to show that, like, if you get started really young, 25, $2,000 a month, by the age of 45, only a 20-year investing career, you could have $1.4 million. And easily at $1.4 million, you could stop investing at 45 years old, even if you keep working, and let that $1.4 million just keep compounding by itself for the last 15 years. Your investing career only had to be 20 years from the age of 25 to 45. So is $500 going to make you rich? No. It can give you a modest retirement. But if you're willing to put in $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000, that will make you rich. That will make you really well off. And the earlier you do it, the less amount of time you need to invest, the earlier you can actually retire. So this is why it is so important to get invested early, stay in the market for the long term, and invest as much as you can, as fast as you can, as young as you possibly can, because you will get way more money in the future. And then it makes that sacrifice so much more worth it because you invested more at an earlier age. You actually have to invest a less amount of time over the long term. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly bringing you financial content on this channel. I'd really appreciate it too. I'll see you next video.